That's not what I wanted to do. Oh, yeah, maybe it was. Because it's all attached to the same button. My name is Ron Chuckett, Uncle Ron, and today we're going to do a special video on this Sunday morning to address an email that I got from one of you out there. And it was so good, and I'm not going to read who it's from, but so good that I wanted to actually, it was just too long to sit there and reply one out. I figured I would just do it on a video. And the topic of this is accuracy in baseball sims. And so I'm just going to, not read the first couple paragraphs, but listening to your recent conversations over the past several days, I had a thought and I wanted to bounce it off you. Okay. I am not a lawyer, and I did not stay at a Holiday Express last night. All right. The point of a baseball simulation, as opposed to a joystick game, is to simulate accurate results. Therefore, the single most important aspect of a sim, in his opinion, is maximum accuracy. The question, however, is what does that look like? Here's how he thinks of it. If you simulate the season, the regular season, a million times, with every player used the same way on the same team, with the same teammates on the same dates as close to real life as possible, then a reasonable person should expect the individual player stats on average to be 99.9999% the same as the real life numbers. The more sims you do, the closer to the average of all those sims should be. Even with the same players in the same batting order, like in the as replayed replays I do, or as played replays, in my sim, I'm not going to. In your sim, you aren't going to pinch hit, bring the reliever exactly the same time as in real life, although some people do that, by the way, and the results of those substitutes won't be exactly the same. Still, particularly for the regular starting players, if a George Brett batted 390 with 24 homers in 1980, if you run a sim a million times, and that's a lot of processing power, Brett will get closer to a seasonal average of 390 and 24 homers the more sims you run. That's accuracy, and that's true. Now, I completely agree with Al that the fun of Al Red Sox fan, for me, the fun of a replay is a what if factor, and our buddy Al is the master of what if replays. I like trying to outmanage the real life manager. I like alternative history. Me too. Playing a game shouldn't be the same as reading the encyclopedia, which is why I make changes to the batting order, make hypothetical trades, etc., etc. But those things increase the variability of the results. Put 1977 in George Foster in Wrigley Field, he might hit 60 homers. Put him in Dodger Stadium, he might only get 40. Neither of those are unrealistic, they're alternatives. Foster playing in Riverfront a million times and never hitting more than 36 homers in a 1977 replay. That would be unrealistic. There would be something wrong with Foster's ratings and or the game engine in that case. Could it happen in any given replay? Sure. But what would happen in an average of 1,000, 10,000, or a million? It shouldn't. Now, accuracy isn't the only consideration in a sim game, but it is, in his opinion, and kind of mine too, the most important. In baseball specifically, it is a small difference in accuracy is most noticeable because the 162 game season is twice that of the other major sports, and of course 10 times that of an NFL season. That said, generally speaking, you and I are not going to notice a difference in a game that is 100% accurate and a game that is 99% accurate, in the same way that the difference is between a 300 hitter and a 290 hitter is one extra hit every 2 weeks throughout the season. It's not something that would be visible to the human eye. If you watch literally every inning of every game all season, the human brain wouldn't know, without statistics being kept, that player A was a 300 hitter and player B was a 290 hitter. In the same way, while all sims ought to shoot for maximum accuracy, being a close second or third in this respect within the industry, but with a better playability for your game, not to mention other considerations like graphics, price, customer service, could vault one sim over another that might technically be slightly more accurate. On the other hand, however, a sim that isn't terribly close in accuracy, the joystick games, or I won't mention the games that he mentioned, or various app games on the smartphone, can really damage a game's playability, sellability. It's early. Anywho, those are my thoughts about on statistical accuracy, what it means and why it's important. I wanted to bounce them off. He wanted to bounce them off me and see where he might be in left field. I don't think you're in left field. I think that overall is the main construct of the games that we play, whether it's Stratomatic or Replay or APA or Action PC, even OOTP to a point. They are designed, and certainly NP3, they are designed to give you that accuracy. They may not all get to the results in the same way, but a well-designed card or a well-designed program is going to get you that. I can tell you just from what little I know about the process of making NP3 cards, the old Skeeter Soft from Colonel Staffa, is that he based his cards on opponent batting average and weighted it. Obviously, you don't bat against your own pitchers, but weighted the league average, took out, like I said, batting against your own players, and then started to add things back in. So the number that he was looking at is, what did the pitchers give up? And if the pitchers give up something that is in the ballpark, because it's going to be a bell curve of plus or minus 5% if you run a sim on a well-designed set of cards, that you should be accurate. So to go George Foster's thing, he should hit anywhere from 45 to 55, 60 home runs in any given replay from 77. If he hits that, it's going to be accurate. It all comes down to the game construction and being able to test it. Now, a million sim test, I think, would be pretty much impossible for that for anything, because you would just run out for data. But if you used, let's say, I tried once, I was thinking of a project with Action PC. You just took a season, and I believe that the as-played lineups are there from, I know they're there from 41 forward, and I know that they're there for other seasons as well. It's just easier to do in Action PC because you can copy folders so many different times. I did 5 replays with the computer choosing everybody and having the computer just play out the season. And then I did 5 replays for as played. Just ran it 5 times. And I got results that were all over the place on a team level. So let's go back to your George Brett in 1980 thing. Yes, a well-designed George Brett card should hit around 390, anywhere from 380 to 400, I would think, just off the top of the head. And if you know how your home run percentages, you know what percentage of his card needs to show a home run. In fact, you can pretty much break that down granularly, and as long as the pitcher's cards are well designed, it's a big important dance. So I would think, I guess, to get down to your thing, anyway, first of all, the thing with as played is it gets the usage mostly right. A well-designed AI will help the rest of that to be right. And sometimes that's easy and sometimes that's difficult, and that's the bane of the existence of every game designer. Some games do better than that than others. If you were to go through and manually play out all 2,430 games in a season over the course of 2 or 3 years, you're right. You wouldn't know until you did the stats whether player A was a 300 hitter or player B was a 290 hitter or player C was a 240 hitter. But you should at least be within 5%, give or take, over the full course of a season. But then again, you got to do all, the good games that I happen to sim on my channel. Those are the easy ones. You want to do the good teams against each other. Good luck trying to sit there and play an honest game in the middle of August when you got 2 teams that are 25 games out from under 500 and going through. I suppose the best way would be to sit there and say, okay, Roger Clemens threw 7 2/3 innings on this particular night. I can't let him go past that, yada, yada, yada. Then again, are you playing for stats or are you playing to win the game? And the one thing I've noticed in all the years of doing this is that good teams tend to somehow overperform in the win column and bad teams tend to overperform in the loss column. And again, that's just one of those things. And it's an advantage and a disadvantage because we look at everything backwards. Everything in a sim is created from when the season ends and not in the middle of the season. So for me, accuracy is, I think, to me, more important than how it all looks. I think that's the beauty of Strat. I think once people get comfortable with playing basic APA, the game plays fairly accurate. You may not want to like how the results are gotten, but over the course of a season, you're going to get it. But on the other hand, what's more important to you as a player? Do you want the team record to be right? Are you playing a single team? Do you want those '08 Phillies to go to the World Series and win? You can look and say, oh, the ERA was right and the baseline numbers were right, but we finished 10 games under where we should have. Or we ran away and won the division on August 1st. So what you and I might consider right, other people might consider something else for that. And so there really is no right answer to that. But I think if you just took a Season of Action PC or your favorite computer sim and ran it 10 times, I think you would find that most sims would have it within reason. But each sim does different things or focuses on different things to make it right. And so if APA is a good game to tell how cards are made. And you can go, and if you're a member of Delphi, you can go through and read some of the great stuff that is there on the Skeetersoft from Bill Staffa about how the sausage is made. So no, I think if you're gonna play a game, I'm gonna sneeze. Hold on. I never actually did have that sneeze. But, what you and I might consider accurate may not be what other people consider accurate. So, yes, statistical accuracy is important to me in a game, but as you said, I don't need to be so tight about it that I can just sit there and read Baseball Reference to get the idea of what I want. And the other thing is, too, we all throw in our own biases. Are we playing a neutral, down-the-middle replay, or are we doing a single team? Are we trying to get a certain team to win ball games? You're going to do what you can to get it. So, just like everything else in this hobby, there is no right answer. But I think there are enough sims out there that you can read the replay results, and this isn't just for baseball, to know who's pretty accurate and who's not. And I think those are the ones that continue to stand the test of time. And if you're a game designer, play, test your game. Make sure before it goes on the market that that's the case. All right, I hope that answers your question. And if you want me to do other videos based on topics, you know how to get a hold of me. Have yourself a great day.